going to be doing a review on the Rock Island 1911. This is the standard FS model, and to do a full transparency before we get into it, because I know a lot of stuff on YouTube, everybody's like wondering, hot topic nowadays, TRX Arms has mentioned it a lot. Transparency. So this was picked up on my own dime. It was not sent out by Rock Island. So shout out to me for buying guns for you guys. So that's pretty much all the transparency I want to give. Right before we talk about specs, I would like to shout out Basement Operator Company. This is my apparel line. We just recently dropped a new collection, the Gold Collection, which is Sunday Gun Day. You should go check it out. Pretty cool stuff. BasementOperator.com. It would mean a ton to me if you do. So to talk about this little 1911, we want to first talk about price point. So this thing runs about $550, but a little disclaimer, I did pick this up secondhand. So this is a little bit older model, and it also has a little bit of aftermarket parts on it, like the Hogue grip. So you can get it a little bit cheaper, but not too much cheaper. 1911s hold their value pretty well, especially the Rock Island. And one thing different about this one versus a newer model, the branding on it. So this one says Rock Island Armory across the slide up here. The new ones have just a Rock Island emblem here on the side, and I'll pop that up of what they have on their website so you can see the difference. So if you know you're buying a newer or older model one. Okay, so first let's talk about magazines. So this has 8-round magazines, which is a very standard 1911 magazine. I do believe that you can use Colt magazines on them. So I have old 1911 magazines. They fit flush. They don't fit as well as the Rock Island 1911 magazines, which have a little bit of a I guess a little extension on it to, I guess, help you get it out and in or whatnot. But 1911 magazines are expensive, but they are common. So magazine will run you about 30 bucks, give or take. They're not as expensive as SIGs, but they're still not PMags. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your pistols, okay? So next, let's talk about the barrel length. So we have a 5-inch barrel, which is a very common 1911 barrel. You can get them in shorter models, but I opted for the full-size version just because I wanted a more classic look, and I like it a lot. So I'm kind of pleased with it and how it's looking in terms of size, and I just like longer barrels on things. Okay, so next thing, let's talk about how much this thing weighs. This is a 2.5-pound pistol. So this is all metal. There's no polymer on this thing, and compared to something like this HK VP9, even with the light and the optic, the 1911 weighs considerably more. Even though they're similar size frames, the 1911 is so much heavier than the HK VP9. When you're looking at picking up a 1911, make sure it's something you want. Make sure it's something you want to carry or use, or however you're buying it. Just know they will be heavier because they're not polymer pistols. Okay, so let's talk about sights next. On the front sight, we have a dovetail sight, and then on the back we have fixed rear. They're supposed to be anti-snag sights, and you can adjust them via a little Allen key here, and you can move them left and right depending on how you're shooting, so you can dial it in for yourself. Next thing let's talk on is the grips. So these grips, I think I might have mentioned, since this is aftermarket, somebody had put Hogue grips on here, and this I think is a fairly common thing. I've seen a lot of 1911s with Hogue grips, and I'm really fond of them. They have nice finger grooves for them, and then the nice rubberized texture. It's just comfortable to shoot. They're better if you have a smaller hand like me. I don't have very big hands, so the grips are nice and useful in my personal opinion. All right, so next thing, trigger pull. About a 4 to 6 pound trigger as boasted by Rock Island. I haven't done the actual trigger gauge on this thing, but I think the trigger's fine. It's smooth, it's easy to shoot. I've done quite a bit of shooting with it, and I find it very similar to a lot of pistols you can get on the market today. So I don't think it's anything to rave about, but I also don't think it's anything to complain about. All right, so let's dive right on into how it actually performed. But before we talk about how this pistol actually performed, I would like to say thank you to Darrell Holsters. Darrell Holsters did send out the holsters for this pistol review, as well as the 1911. This is the 1911, the HKVP9. So big thank you to Darrell Holsters. There are some awesome people down there in North Carolina. We've actually visited with them in person, and they're awesome. So big shout out to them. If you want to pick up some of their stuff, their holsters, their mag carriers, whatever it may be, you can use code DELP10 to save you 10% off. The link to their website will be the first link in the description, so go check them out. So let's talk about how the pistol performed. We were shooting a lot of 45 ACP through this thing. Big shout out to Callaway for sending out the 45 ACP for this video. They're plug right after a plug, but they're really awesome. And they make some really high quality remanufactured stuff. So go check them out. They are linked at takesomeoneoutdoors.com/links because YouTube's, you know, crazy and doesn't like gun stuff. So big shout out to Callaway. But this thing rocked and rolled. One of the things, I'm not too experienced with 1911s. I have tons of pistols and whatnot, but 1911s and 45s in general are a little, I wouldn't say new to me, but they are not as commonly used, okay? So I'm used to 9mm and whatnot, 45 ACP. Still ran great. Was a lot of whomp behind of it. Something that's what I'm not accustomed to. But it felt good. It felt nice. It felt powerful. The pistol just ran fantastically. I didn't have any misfeeds, any jams, any stovepipes, any of all the stuff that you could have go wrong with a pistol. It functioned flawlessly with Callaway's ammunition. So I really couldn't say enough good things about how this pistol performed in function. So let's talk about who it's for, why you would buy it, what would be your reasoning for picking up this 1911 from Rock Island. First, it's affordable. Okay, so you're sitting not as expensive as like a Kimber or whatnot. $550 is still pretty pricey, but it's not that bad. It could be a lot worse. Second thing, this thing will put you, or put whatever you're shooting at, on its ass. 45 ACP is a big bullet. It does the job. And if you're buying this for self-protection, for planking, it's really the do-all. I mean, this was America's gun for forever. Okay? The 1911 is, if it was a movie, it would be a cult classic. I mean, there's really no limitations to what you could use this pistol for. Like I said, I got it as an action sport holster. With an action sport holster, so I can run it on my battle belt. It's really a do-all. If you're looking to have a little bit more whomp than a 9mm, the 1911 chambered in 45 ACP will do the job, and will do the job very, very well. So that's pretty much all for this video. I know it's short, sweet, and to the point, but I wanted to give you a little insight on the Rock Island 1911 and how it performed for me, whether or not I think you should pick it up. And I think it would be a good addition to literally anybody's arsenal. I think everybody should at least have one 1911. So if you don't want to spend too much money, maybe check out the Rock Island 1911. All right, so I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and follow me on Instagram. I'll see y'all in the next one. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.